This presentation focuses on the student team literature teaming approach. Within ELA classrooms, it is important for students to work together during learning tasks. By working together, students are to read, think critically, write, and actively engage one another in discussions that could expose them to new ideas and concepts. Cooperative learning increases student achievement. Before we discuss the student team literature approach to student teams, I want to take some time to identify the differences between student groups and student teams. Research shares and classroom observations often reveal that within groups, students have unidentified strengths and weaknesses. Students often assign themselves to teams or are assigned randomly to teams. Groups sometimes have members who do not necessarily share the same goal while completing an activity. Groups have members who may or may not work together and who make up rules as they go along. Overall, groups are composed of individuals acting as separate entities pursuing their own goals. Teams, on the other hand, have members whose different strengths and weaknesses are known by the teacher. Teams are carefully assembled by the teacher. Teams have members who share a goal and have synergy. Teams have predetermined rules that govern interaction amongst members. Generally, teams are composed of individuals working together to achieve shared goals. Based on the findings related to groups versus student teams, student team literature concludes that mixed ability learning teams are most impactful while students work cooperatively. As educators, we know that learning is a social practice. Within ELA classrooms, students who work in teams are able to interact closely with one another and support each other while understanding new concepts in English language arts. Mixed ability teams promote students bringing their own individual strengths to the table in order to accomplish educational tasks alongside their peers. On this slide, you see a diagram that shows you how to effectively create a mixed ability learning team. A mixed ability learning team includes the key components of an equal status team. An equal status team is a team that includes high, low, and average students in a given class, enabling the team to have an equal chance for success. It is a mixed ability team. A team that has all the high achievers in a class or one that has all the low achievers is not an equal status team. One is stacked with students who will probably do everything well, and the other is stacked with students who will probably do everything poorly. Teachers who are using the student team literature model should restructure teams to ensure that they are equal status teams. I want to add that mixed ability learning teams align with the tenets of differentiated instruction. Mixed ability learning teams act as important differentiated tools because students are able to collaborate and participate in a synergistic learning experience. There are important factors that should be considered while forming equal status teams. These factors include student behaviors, levels of motivation, academic performance, and identifying students with learning disabilities. Additionally, student personalities, ages, attendance records, gender, and also any handicapping conditions should be considered. At this point in the presentation, you may be asking, now that I have structured teams, how do I help my students work cooperatively with their peers? We have the answer to your question. There are different strategies you could use to promote your students working together cooperatively. Using all of the strategies simultaneously could help your students be more successful while working with their teams. The first strategy calls for you to establish a classroom environment that is conducive to teamwork. You are encouraged to rearrange your classroom so that students are sitting in close proximity of their team. I want to also note that if you are hesitant to have students begin cooperative work in teams, students can start off by working with one partner. The visual on this slide provides a classroom arrangement that is conducive to initial partnerships. As you are able to establish routines within your classroom, and as students demonstrate they are ready to transition from partnerships to teams, the desk or tables can be moved together. This diagram shows how the students can be arranged in an effective team format. Please note it is recommended that teachers change teams every 6 or 8 weeks or have team changes coincide with grading periods. Periodic team changes encourages students interacting and gaining support from more of their peers. Now let's review strategy 2. Team building exercises are necessary if students are going to work cooperatively with their team for an extended period of time. Activities that can be completed with students include getting acquainted exercises, students establishing a team logo, slogan, roles, handshakes, or even developing team names. Showing students how to value differences and support one another, and helping your students build exercises that develop synergy are great components of cooperative learning. Strategy 3 includes teaching students how to work cooperatively by introducing them to social skills. A further discussion related to methods for introducing social skills will be held in a later presentation. Strategy 4 calls for you to develop tools that will assist you and your students in measuring their success during teamwork. These tools can include team self-assessments or cooperative learning rubrics. There are many resources that can be consulted that illustrate the rationale behind mixed ability teams and websites that provide strategies for infusing cooperative learning within classrooms. The below links provide resources that offer further support in this area. If you need more assistance in understanding or implementing a specific area of the student team literature curriculum, please review our list of presentations and view the presentation that will meet your needs. Thank you for reviewing this presentation. I am sure you gained a greater understanding of the student team literature teaming approach and picked up on strategies to support your creation of student teams.